Benjamin couldn't believe his eyes. His autistic daughter was murmuring softly to a peacock. Curious to test what he was seeing, Benjamin joked, "They'll eat all your cookies, you know?" But instead of fear, she smiled, a rare moment he hadn't witnessed in a long time. Determined to give his daughter a joyful childhood, Benjamin made a bold decision to buy and save this rundown zoo, no matter the cost. But when his brother, an experienced zoo manager, heard the news, he strongly opposed the idea. He remembered the zoo's glory days when it had 3 times as many staff. At that moment, the zoo housed 48 species, 8 of them endangered. His brother bluntly told Benjamin that managing it all with his limited experience was nothing short of impossible. His brother's concerns were valid, but Benjamin saw hope. The zoo's main income came during the summer. If they could pass the crucial inspection before the end of June, they could avoid bankruptcy, save these animals, and perhaps even help his daughter. The odds weren't great, but Benjamin chose to take the leap. After returning home, Benjamin told his son Dylan about his decision. The family would be moving to a remote countryside. But upon hearing this, Dylan was furious. His friends and his entire life were here, not in some remote place. Everything Dylan cherished was in the city. He didn't want to leave, nor did he care about saving the animals. He just wanted to stay. Most importantly, this place held the memories of his mother. His mother's sudden death had stripped Dylan of his joy for life, leaving him brooding and frequently in trouble at school. As an adventurous father, Benjamin had to quit his job to care for his 2 children and drive them to school every day. Each time, the other parents whispered behind his back, believing a man couldn't handle these duties. And honestly, they weren't wrong. He still didn't know how to connect with Dylan. His wife's death had left him lost, and the relationship with his son was as fragile as walking on thin ice. That day was the 4th time Benjamin was called to the school. During an art class about love, all the students had drawn emotional pieces except for Dylan. But Dylan's artwork shocked everyone, and following the 3-strike rule, this time he was officially suspended. "Sorry, but we have to ask Dylan to leave the school. As a parent, I suggest you try to understand your son's inner world more deeply." Later, Benjamin told Dylan that the principal wanted him out not because of the drawing, but because he had stolen money more than 7 times. Knowing he was wrong, Dylan reluctantly agreed to move to the countryside with his father, a decision that would change his life. That night, Benjamin snuck into Dylan's room and flipped through his sketchbook, finding dark, haunting drawings that made him frown deeply. He didn't know how to guide his son. Before leaving, Benjamin and his daughter packed their bags and stumbled upon his old, tattered hoodie. It was the hoodie his wife used to wear. Even though it was worn out and full of holes, Benjamin carefully folded it and placed it in the suitcase as if carrying her memory with him. No one knew that hoodie would become his last ray of hope. On the way to the zoo, Dylan wore his headphones, shutting out the world, leaving Benjamin feeling lost again. As they passed the cafe where he first met his wife, Benjamin's eyes unconsciously lingered, almost seeing her encouraging smile. Just like every time he made a big decision in life, she was always there, unconditionally supporting him. Near their new home, they saw a neighbor putting up a welcome sign for the new residents. Dylan glanced out the window and saw a blonde girl smiling and waving at him, a sweet image that made his heart stir. But the weather didn't cooperate. As soon as they arrived at their new home, the rain poured down, as if reminding them of the challenges ahead. And that wasn't all. When they opened the door, the overwhelming stench and the mess inside made Dylan complain out loud. The next morning, Benjamin excitedly arrived at the zoo. Kelly, the general manager, welcomed his family and introduced a 5-member team, all top professionals. Among them was Lily, Kelly's cousin. Growing up in the countryside, she was only 13 but stood a head taller than Dylan, making him feel awkward. Then Benjamin introduced his family and motivated the team. "Now, we are modern-day explorers and guardians of the animal kingdom." But almost immediately, he faced his first challenge. Kelly nervously briefed him on the zoo state. It looked fine on the outside, but inside, it was chaos. The aging Bengal tiger needed a top vet, the fences were sagging, facilities were broken, and food for the turtles and lemurs was running low. All these issues required a lot of money. Benjamin remained calm, promising to handle it all, but his overconfidence made Kelly suspicious. Benjamin knew next to nothing about running a zoo. So Kelly voiced her concerns. "You're an outsider, nitrogen monoxide one in the field knows you, and you don't understand animals. Why would someone like you buy a broken down place like this, especially with young children?" Before, the zoo had 3 times as many staff people who loved animals so much they worked without pay. They need someone who can really run this place, or neither the staff nor the animals will survive. Benjamin replied vaguely, leaving Kelly baffled. Why did you buy this place? Why not? Kelly was unsure whether to trust him. That night, Benjamin was overwhelmed by the pile of bills and stepped outside to clear his head. A gentle breeze brushed his face, making him feel his late wife's silent strength. Then he went to the zoo's pub. The atmosphere was relaxed, and he saw a chance to connect with others. After all, he would need their help. He expected they wouldn't respect an outsider like him, but to his surprise, they welcomed him warmly. IT lifted Benjamin's spirits, and the pub owner raised a toast. Welcome to the zoo. The next morning, Benjamin, well-equipped and full of confidence, started working on fixing the old fences. Seeing the small animals, he couldn't help but say, "Not bad. You guys are pretty well behaved." But immediately after, the little creature, seeing a stranger, charged at him, ready to attack. Even though his brother disagreed with Benjamin's decision, he frequently came to help, trying to convince him to give up. He believed that keeping Kelly was meaningful enough, but Benjamin insisted he bought this place for his daughter Josie loved IT. His goal was simple, to give his children a happy childhood and help them overcome the pain of losing their mother. But ever since moving here, Dylan would hold his mother's photo each night, unable to sleep, and spend his days drawing dark images in the corner of his room. Until that day, Lily snuck over to see Dylan. "What are you doing?" Her golden hair carried a gentle fragrance. She brought Dylan a sandwich and asked about the scar on his nose. This caught Dylan off guard. He thought his dark drawings would push others away, but Lily not only accepted them, she drew closer to him. She almost leaned her whole body against Dylan, making him so embarrassed he avoided her gaze. Everywhere was dark and dull. Where was the sun? There is nitrogen monoxide sun in hell. Lily didn't say much more. She just gently told Dylan, "I get off work at 5, and at 5:20, I'll bring you a delicious sandwich." From that day on, Dylan's life felt a touch of sunshine each day. Lily brought not just a sandwich, but the warmth he had been missing in his drawings. Gradually, a rare smile appeared on Dylan's face. He looked forward to seeing Lily each day. Clearly, Dylan had grown fond of this sweet and warm-hearted girl. The sunshine she brought was gradually dispersing the darkness in his heart. Even so, the relationship between Benjamin and his son hadn't improved much. They still frequently argued over small things. But Benjamin felt comforted seeing his daughter open up and engage more since they moved. The bright-eyed little girl told Benjamin, "I think Dylan really loves you. He's just sad his friends don't come around anymore." One night, as Benjamin tucked his daughter into bed, he noticed her holding tightly to her mother's clothes. "What's this? Our old friend. Did Mom hurt a lot before she left US, Dad?" Choking up, Benjamin reassured her. Sometimes, even if they look weak on the outside, they don't hurt that much inside. He told his daughter, "Mom never really left US. She's still protecting US in her own special way. We just have to hold on to her spirit, right?" "That's right. Embrace IT and keep IT in your heart. If IT falls, pick it up and hold IT tight. Can you see Mom? She's always close to US." His youngest often asked deep questions, and Benjamin always did his best to comfort her in his own way. Dylan quietly stood outside the door, listening to the conversation, feeling a deep, unexpected sense of peace and emotion. Deep down, he wanted to be closer to his father, but he didn't know how to say IT. But the next morning, father and son were arguing again. Dylan had forgotten to lock the snake box last night, and the yard was filled with garter snakes. Thankfully, Kelly stepped in to fix the mess, but his father's constant scolding made Dylan lose control of his emotions. "Sorry I didn't lock the snake box properly. Whatever." Later, while preparing food for the animals, Kelly told Benjamin directly she didn't like how Dylan kicked the snake. After all, next year is the year of the snake. She admitted that she admired Benjamin's courage for not giving up even now. Just as things settled, the inspector arrived unannounced for a surprise check, throwing everyone into panic mode. Everyone was on edge. Whether the zoo could open on time depended on this inspector. He measured the fences meticulously, making things difficult, demanding they be raised by 70 centimeters. Faced with such strict demands, everyone could only silently endure. When the inspector saw the old, dying tiger, he asked Benjamin if he was ready for humane euthanasia. Benjamin flatly refused. He wouldn't give up. Maybe losing his wife had left Benjamin fearful of death. After all the inspections, there were 13 failures, and staff informed Benjamin that fixing everything would cost a lot. Benjamin, unsure what to do, made an excuse to go for a walk and kicked a log in frustration. The staff thought he was about to give up, but he calmed down, quietly set the log back up, and gave a signal. "I'm okay, H." At that moment, Kelly smiled. She knew Benjamin wouldn't give up easily. At first, Benjamin planned to delay fixing these issues for a few days, but the enclosure was too small, and the brown bear ended up escaping. Benjamin instinctively protected his son, but he quickly realized that this was just Booster, their own greedy brown bear. He alerted Kelly and the other staff, and suddenly Booster appeared right in front of him. "Booster, let's just play a bit, pretend we're still at the zoo. I've got a tranquilizer gun here, but I really don't want to use IT on you." Damn it, thankfully, the tranquilizer saved him just in time from Booster's jaws. IT took a lot of effort and even extra money to hire a rescue team to get Booster back into the zoo. Thankfully, there were nitrogen monoxide major incidents, but this episode did leave Benjamin maxing out the last cent on his credit card. That evening, everyone raised their glasses to Benjamin, showing him the highest respect. There was nitrogen monoxide doubt anymore. They all believed he was a great boss. But they had nitrogen monoxide idea that Benjamin was broke, and he had nitrogen monoxide clue how he was going to handle the challenges ahead. Lily gave Dylan a sign with her eyes, inviting him outside, and they climbed up to the rooftop to Stargazi. Lily excitedly shared stories about the animals, while at the same time, Kelly subtly expressed her feelings for Benjamin. "I like genuine people," she said. "We think alike, don't we? If I asked you to kiss me, you couldn't say no." Benjamin felt his heart stir at her words, but he still couldn't let go of his love for his late wife. Late at night, Benjamin returned to his room, took out the old sweater his wife used to love wearing, and gently put IT on, his heart filled with longing for her. By chance, he slipped his hand into the pocket and discovered a check inside his wife's savings, left for him before she passed away. To his surprise, IT was for $85,000 an emergency fund his wife left, knowing how he loved taking risks without much planning. In her letter, she wrote, "Whatever you decide to do, follow your heart, not just your brother's advice." Sure enough, his brother advised him to use the money for a peaceful life. "Listen, Benjamin, you've been through a lot. You've already changed Dylan's and Josie's lives, and they'll never forget that. But staying here and throwing yourself into danger isn't what Catherine would want. She wanted you to be free, and this money is your way out." Benjamin felt that his brother's words made sense, but little did he know that the zoo secretary had already found out the truth and was secretly stirring trouble behind his back. She was fueling the team's doubts, spreading rumors that Benjamin was a fraud, his bank account empty, and in the end, he would have nitrogen monoxide choice, but to sell the house cheaply. Lily, curious to confirm the rumors, brought a sandwich to Dylan and casually mentioned that they might be leaving soon but they could still be good friends. Dylan laughed out loud, "Of course, but is this really true?" "That's awesome, really awesome." He didn't notice Lily standing next to him, her lips trembling, face filled with disappointment, almost bursting into tears, but Dylan remained overjoyed at the thought of finally leaving. Back at the restaurant, the staff expected Benjamin to announce bankruptcy, but without hesitation, he brought out the money his wife left behind and declared that he would keep the zoo running. "Thank you, my dear Catherine. We have the money now. I don't know what rumors you've heard, but I can tell you this: my funds may be limited, but I have enough to support all of us. If you stay, I'll give it my all, but for this zoo to reopen, I need everyone to give their heart and soul. This is the greatest job in the world, and we must do our best to make IT work. So please, don't give up on our adventure." "I'm in, me too?" All right. The room erupted in joy, everyone excited except his brother, who still thought Benjamin was walking straight into ruin. As for the secretary who spread the rumors, she was fired, of course. When the boss was willing to risk it all, the team was ready to give their all too. As the grand opening approached, everyone at the zoo gave it their best, focused on one goal: passing the inspection to open the zoo. Time flew by in a flurry of activity, everyone racing against the clock, hoping to bring this once abandoned place back to life. Yet amid the hustle, Dylan remained lost in his own world, surrounded by his dreams, And after their last conversation, Lily nitrogen monoxide longer came to see him. As opening day drew nearer, Benjamin took his daughter shopping for supplies. When he pulled out the zoo's credit card, the cashier looked surprised. "It says Rosemore Wildlife Park. Do you work there?" "Why, yes, I do in fact. I own IT." IT seemed unbelievable, but it was true. The cashier, excited, asked Benjamin for 9 tickets, promising to bring her whole family on opening day. Just when things seemed to be going well, the old tiger started to decline. It stopped eating or drinking altogether. With her years of experience, Kelly concluded that the tiger couldn't endure the pain any longer. It was time to let it go. However, Benjamin stubbornly defended his opinion, insisting on keeping the tiger alive, even if it meant giving it more medication or inviting a better veterinarian. The weakened tiger struggled to step down from the rock, and in the end, IT took a lot of effort from everyone to herd it back into its enclosure. But Benjamin, stubborn as ever, insisted on keeping the tiger alive even if it meant more medication or hiring a better vet. "I don't want to do that. This isn't your decision to make, but this is something we can't avoid." The argument escalated. Benjamin's hesitation rooted in his wife's death, leaving a scar so deep that he struggled to let anything else go. By evening, Benjamin hadn't returned home. Kelly prepared dinner for the kids, put the youngest to bed, and then sat quietly outside, waiting for Benjamin. When he finally came back, Benjamin held Kelly's hand tightly and poured out his heart. "I thought leaving would make me forget everything, but I was wrong." He realized his wife was always with him, and he could never forget her. When you love someone so deeply, so intensely, and for so long, you can never escape that love. Nitrogen monoxide matter where you go. Without a doubt, Benjamin was a man who loved with all his heart, and his genuine soul drew Kelly in. Nitrogen monoxide woman could resist someone so true. But little did they know Dylan was listening quietly from afar, realizing just how deeply his father had loved his mother. The next morning, for the first time, Dylan sat down beside Benjamin, and for the first time, father and son opened up to each other. Benjamin asked Dylan about his feelings for Lily, and Dylan admitted he liked her but had nitrogen monoxide clue how to express it. "So you like her? I get it. Sometimes, all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage, just 20 seconds of embarrassing bravery, and I promise something good will come of it." Father and son shared their hearts. Dylan confessed he never knew how to talk to his dad. "Me too," Benjamin said. "Why don't we just say what we want to each other? I'm really sorry for bringing you out to the countryside. I'm trying to be a good father, I really am. You know that, right?" Taking his son's advice to heart, Benjamin finally agreed to let the tiger go peacefully. Kelly watched the two of them walk away, feeling deeply moved. After father and son reconnected, Dylan's inner world brightened. His dark drawings transformed into lovely sketches of animals, including one of the tiger. Benjamin even chose Dylan's tiger head drawing as the zoo's logo. "Where will you put it, Dad?" "I don't know, everywhere, I guess." He told his son with all his heart. "I've always been your biggest fan." Hearing this, Dylan was stunned, his eyes welling up, finally sure that his father loved him. The zoo's animals were thriving. 2 turtles strolled across green lawns, porcupines played joyfully, and even Rosie's beloved peacock was welcoming new life. Rosie named every animal with love. The little girl who once struggled with autism had blossomed into a happy, outgoing child. Even Benjamin's brother, seeing his determination, came to help, bringing 2 big tubs of cod, the bear's favorite. The bears, seeing the delicious spread, were so excited they didn't know where to start. Everyone worked to finish the final touches, and when the zoo's giant logo was raised high, it meant everything was ready. Soon after, the inspector returned, but this time, everyone faced him with confidence. This time, he found nitrogen monoxide flaws. "Good luck," he said. Everyone cheered. Their hard work had finally paid off. The zoo was licensed to open, with the grand opening set for July 7th. Even the inspector booked a ticket, promising to visit on opening day. But then, the weather turned. The biggest storm of the century hit, and forecasts predicted heavy rain for a whole week. Everyone put up posters announcing the opening and prayed for the storm to pass. One day, as Dylan walked past Lily's house, he saw a message written on her window. "If you love me, let me know." Dylan remembered his dad's advice about 20 seconds of courage. He ran to her window, counting silently, and knocked. "Hey, hi, I just wanted to say I miss you like crazy." "Am I crazy?" "I really miss you. I'm sorry for getting you wet in the rain." It's okay. I like you. I like your hair. I like your message. I love you. Dylan had found his courage and he won the game of the brave. But the rain kept falling even the day before the opening. Everyone felt hopeless. Until the next morning, Benjamin was awakened by his alarm and noticed a beam of sunlight peeking through the curtains. He got up, pulled back the curtains, and saw the rain had finally stopped. It was a bright, beautiful day. Kelly dressed Josie up as a cool little zoo manager, and Benjamin couldn't help but praise her craftsmanship. With the snap of the ribbon, the zoo officially opened. The staff stood at the gates, filled with hope, waiting for visitors. But time passed and nitrogen monoxide visitors came. Dylan, thinking quickly, realized something was wrong. He ran out to check and sure enough, a huge tree had fallen across the road. Climbing up to look around, they saw a long line of visitors waiting on the other side. Benjamin perked up, calling everyone to help guide the guests around the blocked path and welcome them into the zoo. The most heartwarming sight was Josie, once struggling with autism, now cheerful, lovable, and confidently giving tour to the visitors. The zoo, once desolate and empty, now buzzed with life and excitement. Kelly, summoning her courage, finally confessed to Benjamin, "I really like you, I just don't know how to say it." She even boldly asked him to spend New Year's together. Stepping outside, Benjamin looked up at the hopeful kites in the sky inspired by Kelly's bravery. He decided to let go of the past and embrace a new life. So he took his kids back to the restaurant where he first met their mother and shared the story of how they met. In his heartfelt story, It felt as if the children could actually see their mother. They're warm and kind. "Hi, Mom. Hi, Mommy." Then he told them about his 20 seconds of insane courage that won him the love of his life. "Excuse me, why would a wonderful girl like you want to talk to a guy like me?" Why not? Exactly, every life needs at least one moment of fearless risk. Just like the 20 seconds of courage this movie reminds you of. Benjamin had his 20 seconds of courage, risking it all to buy the zoo and committing his life to his dream. Dylan had his 20 seconds knocking on Lily's window in the pouring rain. Father and son had their 20 seconds breaking through arguments and misunderstandings to finally share their love. Life isn't without heartbreak and dark paths we must walk alone. But in the end, it all comes together, balance returns, and love heals everything. So be brave enough to love. Remember those 20 seconds of courage, and fortune will come and hold you tight. A movie's worth is in its reputation, but the worth of a review is in its feeling. That's the end of today's story. Thank you for watching. What did you think of this movie? Let me know in the comments below.